we have been given diabetes to us. It doesn't have to make us sad, sorrowful, and everything. But we're going to find out of diabetes today. So as I was interviewing these guys, they were so knowledgeable. I felt like I'm talking to doctors. They were familiar with all the terms and everything. I was like, no, I want to see who knows more than the other. So today we're going to play a game asking questions that has to do with diabetes, and I'm sure after this game we'll be knowing who knows more than the other. So guys,
is there any prize?
Yes, there should be a prize. We'll talk about the prize later. So it's time to prove yourself, guys. Okay. So I'm just gonna ask a question, and the first person to have the answer, you can just flip your fingers and then you give us the answer. So what is the difference between type 1 and type 2 diabetes? Okay.
All right. So I'm the winner.
Not yet.
Oh, okay. So
we need to hear your answer first.
Get the answer correct.
Yes.
Okay. All right. What I know is type 2 diabetes is what they call the adult onset. Right? You are not born with it.
Yes.
But at a certain stage in life, you can develop type 2 diabetes. And type 1 is one that you're born with. So you are born defective of your pancreas being able to produce the hormone insulin, which actually helps in the uptake of your sugar.
Are you sure you didn't study medicine before?
No.
That was well articulated.
I'm just diabetic.
Okay, so what is insulin and what gland secretes insulin? Okay.
Okay, so insulin is a hormone. So what insulin does is it takes up glucose. So for every meal that you eat, everything that you have has your carbohydrates. So carbohydrates is the large component, but then your body can't use carbohydrates. It needs to be broken down to finer molecules that can be taken up by your bloodstream.
Can you repeat your question?
Okay. What is insulin and which gland secretes insulin?
2 questions there.
Yes.
Okay, she can go ahead.
Okay, so that insulin then breaks down the food into the glucose, so that glucose is in your system.
Okay. What is insulin and what gland secretes insulin? Yes, Mr. Tafara.
Is it another question or is it?
No, it's the same question.
The same
What
question.
happened?
So she has to
What
take.
happened?
She has to take, but I had to stop her
Okay.
for some reasons.
All right. There I go.
Yes.
The hormone that secretes insulin is the pancreas.
The gland that secretes insulin is the pancreas. Okay.
Oh, gland. Sorry, did I say the hormone?
the gland.
So there you go. I'm not a doctor.
All right.
Yeah.
Mutsa, the reason I stopped you, it said insulin breaks down the carbohydrates to small molecules. No, insulin helps the body cells to recognize glucose so that they can take the glucose. Insulin is a hormone, not an enzyme.
Oh, that is medicine.
Yeah. Can any one of you describe the diabetic plate? You have come across a diabetic and you want to educate them on their nutrition. The diabetic plate, classic one, not what you guys do at times. The classic diabetic plate.
I'll have a try. I'll tell you what I think goes into the diabetic plate. You should have things like broccoli, your cauliflower, your carrots, your lettuce, and the fruit.
Okay.
Yeah, you can also have beans.
Okay. I think let me take the question.
Done to that.
Okay, it's okay.
So it's like like a pie chart. You know a pie chart, right? So I've heard that it's supposed to be half your plate is your veggies. What you were saying, the broccolis, the lettuce, the fruits. Then now we're left with the last half. Then that is split into half. On that half, the quarter is your carbohydrates, and then the other quarter is then your protein and your other nutrients.
as fruit outside the plate.
Outside.
Occasionally.
Okay.
It's not inside, right? Just showing that you should not eat too much of the fruit. Okay, so any 2 examples of insulins that you know? 2 examples of insulins. Okay.
There's Actrapid, which is a form of short-acting insulin. Then there is Novorapid, which is also a form of short-acting insulin.
It's okay. Anyway, this question was biased to her because she's the one who takes insulin. So it's okay. Yeah. 2 examples of oral antidiabetics. Yeah. 2.
Metformin and glimepiride.
Okay. Yeah, you are the one who's type 2. We understand. Enalapril.
That's hypertension.
Yes, that's hypertension. Okay, obesity and diabetes. Can you tell me how these things affect each other? Obesity and diabetes. Anyone who knows can share.
Obesity is a condition where you've got excessive weight, okay, high fats, right? And then if you are diabetic, you have a difficulty in controlling your diabetes because of your weight, because you need to burn more. You need to burn more fat. Okay, so it's going to be very difficult for you to control because fat can be easily converted into glucose and sugar levels rise. So the best thing would be to lose the weight.
Okay. So to add on to that, obesity is a risk factor for one to develop diabetes, and also for the already diabetics. If you become obese, it gives a bad prognosis in summary. So why do type 2 diabetics use orals and type 1 diabetics use insulin? Okay, I want to try.
So from my understanding, type 1, it means the pancreas is defective. It's not producing any insulin. That's why people with type 1 diabetes have to take injections so that the insulin, so that the body can receive artificial insulin. So insulin being a hormone, hormones, if taken, hormones are proteins, if I'm not mistaken. And then when you take food into your mouth, it's broken down. So because insulin is a protein, when you take it, it's broken down. So it's not able to then perform what it needs to do. For type 2, I've heard that it means that the pancreas is not working properly. So the medication, the tablets in most cases, then assist the pancreas in the insulin secretion and all that. So those can then be taken orally because at the end of the day it has to be broken down so that it's efficient in its work.
Okay. Basically that's it, but let me also clarify something. For type 2, it could be that the pancreas is okay, but it's the body cells, the receptors which are supposed to recognize insulin, that are failing to recognize the insulin. That's where we take the metformin, which helps to sensitize these receptors in recognizing the insulin. But it is also possible that with time, the pancreas becomes a bit defective. So there are some other drugs which then act on the pancreas to make it improve its function. Okay, so why would one end up with complications of diabetes mellitus? And can you give me about 3 complications that come with diabetes?
I thought we were going to compete on that one. All right.
Yeah, I will let you answer. That's right.
Okay. Complications of diabetes includes numbness, right, which could lead you being in a situation where you cannot tell whether your toe has been cut, right, and you can develop a sore and become gangrenous.
Yes.
That's a complication. One. Then second one would be erectile dysfunction. I'm afraid of it. That's why I'm not. At least I'm not there.
Yeah.
Right. That's a complication of diabetes. and then blindness is another complication. I've done 3.
Yes.
I know there's more, but
There's more. I just asked 3. I should have asked more. Okay. Well,
I'm sorry. Your question. Please repeat the question.
why would one end up with complications of diabetes? And give me 3. Okay.
Oh, okay. Right, that part of the question, it is simply because of a poorly managed diabetic condition. If you're not doing anything about it, you're eating anything and everything, checking your sugar levels and doing all the wrong things, that will lead you to complications.
Yeah, so not everyone will get the complications if it is well managed. Yes. All right, so now I don't know who is number 1. But anyway, you all passed. That's the good thing. So what would you like a non-diabetic to know about having diabetes? A non-diabetic, what would you like them to know? Tell me what you'd like them to know. Tell me what you'd like them to know. A non-diabetic.
I'd like them to know, if you are out there and you are a non-diabetic, or maybe you don't know yet, okay? If you don't know yet, it doesn't mean you're a non-diabetic. You could be diabetic, but you just simply don't know. But to the non-diabetics, I would like to say it could happen to you, right? You could end up with diabetes if you are not careful. Diabetes is a lifestyle disease, which means if you are doing those things that increase the risk of you having diabetes, then you may end up having diabetes. So you need to always maintain a healthy diet, be physically active, and always get enough sleep, right? And drink lots of water, stay hydrated most of the time, and you avoid increasing your risk of contracting diabetes. So it could happen to you, and that's what I can say to the non-diabetics.
Okay. And Mutsawashe, your message to non-diabetics?
I just want to say that in as much as you know how everyone is different, every one of us, despite you have an illness or not, we're all different. So that's the same with people that have diabetes. Every diabetic patient is different, and how they behave or their needs, they're also different. So if you're a non-diabetic out there and you know someone who's diabetic, you need to understand them in their own context so that you can be able to assist them. If you can ask questions, true, but also know how to ask these questions, because for some people are still in denial. They are still not ready to accept that they now have diabetes. So you need to then find the best way if you do want to ask, so you can ask and understand and just be there to support them and assist them.
Okay, that's great. And now what would you want someone with diabetes to know? Message for a diabetic person.
Okay, I think I'll start. Someone with diabetes must know that it's not the end of the world. There is life after your diagnosis, right? So you need to get your act together, put yourself together, accept. I think that is the biggest thing. You know, Mutsawashe was talking about denial. Denial is the biggest problem with any condition. So you need to accept that it is now a condition. It's not a sentence, right? It's a condition that you have to live with, and you always have to do the right things to avoid ending your life early because of doing the wrong things. So if you have diabetes out there, you need to start getting your acts together and start doing the right things. If you have diabetes and you don't know, okay, because that's another class of people, I'll simply say, just go get checked like I did. Go to the pharmacy, ask for a simple sugar test, and it will tell you what your sugar levels are. And early detection is better, than you getting into an emergency. Who says you will survive like I did? You know what I mean?
You might not come out.
It may not be your portion. Maybe you're going to just collapse. So you just go and get checked, and then you will know what to do about your condition.
I just want to say that you are not alone. And if you have a condition, diabetes or any condition, be active. about your illness. If you need to be looking around for where you can get information, awareness, do that, because this is now a part of your life. You're not supposed to see it as a burden. No, you can do so much more and still have diabetes and manage it. Just be proactive about your condition. Do whatever best you can, because that's who knows best to get their act together than you.
Sure.
So just know yourself and do that.
Okay. Thank you so much, guys, for being with me. I wasn't too lonely today.
Thank you. It was so much fun.
Thank you for inviting us.
Yeah, and thank you again for educating the public and raising awareness on issues that has to do with diabetes. Till next time, our viewers, goodbye.